The Colorado Buffaloes may have just landed one of the biggest steals in the transfer portal. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs. I'm your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code at Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. We're also brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in the business. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Colorado's new DB and why I'm really high on him. I think he could be a good one. We're going to talk about the possibility of keeping Jordan Seaton. I know he's in the portal. I know he lied about his plans to the Colorado staffers and team, but maybe they could keep him on a small chance. We'll talk about that. And then Colorado loses a running back to the transfer portal, and I'll explain why I'm concerned about the running back room. Let's talk about the newest addition for the Colorado Buffaloes. They went out and landed former four-star recruit and Oklahoma Sooners safety Jaydan Hardy. Now, Jaydan was somewhat of a rotational piece. He played in 26 games across his 2 years, was a part of the playoff team this year, obviously. This season, he had a total career-high 11 total tackles. He had an interception. And I just simply feel like he was stuck behind a lot of good talent. It doesn't mean he's not good, but I think he's yearning for an opportunity. And there's times where, and I've said this countless times, I don't want Colorado to go after these like Alabama, Georgia, Texas players who were once expected to be the next best thing, and then they ended up not doing anything, right? I don't think that's what Jaydan Hardy is. I think Jaydan Hardy has shown flashes. I just think that Oklahoma, I mean, they had a really good defense this year. They had a lot of talent, and I just feel like he was kind of stuck, right? If you look at Oklahoma's leaders in stats, if you will, leading the way in tackles were a few of their linebackers, but then you have a defensive back in, what was this guy's name? Robert Spears Jennings. And then you also have another defensive back in Peyton Bowen. So you have it was just clogged up in the secondary at Oklahoma. And I think he has the potential to take it to the next level. It's just a matter of whether or not Colorado could tap into that potential. A little fun fact is about Jaydan is his father, Daryl Hardy, he played with Coach Prime for the Cowboys. And Jaydan is a freak athlete, mind you guys. He had long jumps of a 22.1 and 2.25, and a 25.5 in spring of 2023 in high school. Ran track. As a recruit, he had nearly 30 offers. He picked a lot of the biggest programs in the country were after him: Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, Miami, Michigan State, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas. Like, this guy had huge programs coming after him, and I just don't think it worked out at Oklahoma yet. I think there's a chance for him to be a starter alongside Nathan Mitchell. If you look at his PFF grades, which again, PFF isn't the gospel, but it is a nice representation to sort of see what he could be good at. He has the ability to pass rush a little bit. They gave him a 60 pass rush grade. Coverage grade could be better, 59.9. Run defense grade, 51.7. The concerning grade for him is tackling, 35.5. It says he had 4 missed tackles. Now, it's one of those things where, did he play enough for this to be a true sample size? I don't know, right? That's the complicated thing with the transfer portal. For every one of the players where it's like, okay, we got Justin Eaglin, who was on a James Madison playoff team, or we got a Dylan Manuel, who's really good for a kind of a rough App State team, right? There's some guys where they have these big numbers at smaller schools, and it's like, cool, like, what are they going to bring to the table? Like, they have all this experience. They're hungry. And then there's a guy like Jaydan Hardy who didn't necessarily play a lot, but when you factor in, like, hey, Robert Livingston's good with safeties. Colorado has had some good safeties over the past couple of years. Tafik Byard was really good. Cameron Craig was really good. I wouldn't say Carter Stottmeyer was really good, but he had moments, right? So I think the safety play for Jaydan Hardy could be elevated, and I think he may just need a change of scenery and a clear path to the field. So nice addition from Colorado there. he had 17 total tackles, 2 picks with the Sooners across his 2 years. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So I think my favorite part about this addition is it's not just a 1-year rental, right? You're getting this guy for multiple years. You're getting him as someone who could possibly step up in as a starter this year, or at least be a key rotational piece, and then be a leader next year. Because I think the one thing that Colorado has consistently missed since Shador and Travis left are like these de facto alphas, these de facto leaders. And I mean, Jaydan Hardy still has a long way to go, and I'm not saying he should be a leader right away because he hasn't proven himself yet, but he could be, right? And so this is a risk that I like because I think Jaydan Hardy is hungry, right? This isn't Jaheim Otis where it's like, okay, he has multiple people basically saying like, yeah, this dude just didn't really care. He just was whatever about it. Didn't really care. Could be good. Probably won't be because he just doesn't care about football. That's not the vibe I'm getting from Jaydan Hardy here. I think Jaydan Hardy could be a very productive player for Colorado. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he adjusts to the new defense, what they envision for him. But needless to say, I think Colorado's class right now, which 24/7 Sports ranks as the 17th best transfer portal class, I think I'd still give it an A. I think they're addressing a lot of their needs. I think they're not done yet, which is exciting because, quite frankly, like you really need to add depth, you need to add starters, and you need to add guys with star potential. Easier said than done, but Colorado lost a lot of players, and quite frankly, I think they lost a lot of players from nucleus that wasn't good. And when I say good, doesn't mean they weren't good athletes. Like if you look at where the guys are transferring from Colorado, it's all big schools. But I think as a collective group, Colorado did not have the right players. They did not have the right coaches. And that's why we're starting to see more and more changes in Boulder. So Jaydan Hardy, newest Colorado Buffalo. Make sure to go welcome him. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about Jordan Seaton. Can Colorado bring him back? Is that something that you would even want to do? Let's talk about it. This episode is brought to you by our sponsors over at Game Time. Let's talk some Game Time. There's nothing like college football season, tailgates, packed stadiums, and being right there in the middle of it all. The energy, the bands, the moments you remember forever. But actually getting the tickets, that part used to be frustrating with long queues, logins, and prices jumping at checkout. That's why Game Time gives the advantage back to fans. It's the easiest way to unlock amazing college football tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I opened the Game Time app to look at upcoming college football games. I love being able to see my view from the seat before buying, so I know exactly what I was getting. And the zone deal stood out. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save even more. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. We are also doing this really cool new thing that I think a lot of you will be interested in and should sign up for. It's called the Everydayer Club. And so thank you for making Locked On Buffs your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, do yourself a favor. Go check out the new Everydayer Club, right? It's ad-free audio episodes of Locked On Buffs wherever you get your podcast, so that you don't have to listen to a single ad. You can just zoom right through the episode, get your latest and best information on the Colorado Buffaloes. And we're starting up a Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which will have information on the latest transfers, the latest coaching changes, and everything in between. It's a group chat for listeners with me, and I'm going to be bringing on someone special. And also, of course, Jordan Dominic, former Buff himself, will also be able to answer questions in there as well. So if you're interested, let me give you the link because I would love for you guys to sign up. It's lockedonbuffs.supercast.com. Do yourself a favor and join the Everydayer Club, so that way you could get this show commercial free, and you could also join a Discord where we could talk about all things Buffs. It's going to be awesome. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Let's talk Jordan Seaton. He is officially in the transfer portal. So there was like this little murmur of like, oh, he's not even in the portal yet. He's going to announce his return. And that wasn't going to happen. Jordan Seaton is in the portal. Jordan Seaton did, in fact, use Colorado's creative department to make a video that they thought was for him to announce his return. Instead, he used it to announce his transfer. Don't love that. But I mean, that's just the world of college football we live in. But I've been told, and On3's Pete Nakos also confirmed, Colorado is also attempting to bring him back. So the schools to look out for right now are Texas and Oregon. Colorado is a school that is in the mix still. And I think if you're Jordan Seaton, if you're Colorado, really, your pitch to Jordan Seaton is, hey, you started something here. You have a legacy here. If you care about your legacy, come finish it out, right? You're going to make millions of dollars at the next level. Like, I think a lot of people really undervalue how much money you're going to make as a first round pick, right? Like, I think, like, if you look ahead to next year, let's see, 2076 NFL draft slot money. So on Spot Rack, it has the rookie scale, right? So we're saying Jordan Seaton's going to make anywhere from $3.5 to $5.5 million, right? If you go first round, which Jordan Seaton is expected to go first round, like let's say he goes pick 32, Jordan Seaton's making $16 million if he goes first round, right? You could be a first round pick at Colorado. And I think if you're Colorado, you're selling them on like, hey, finish what we started, right? This is our year. We're bringing in a coach who wants to, an offensive guru who wants to put up points, who wants to run the ball, which should help Jordan Seaton out because his run blocking isn't always the best, right? The extra couple millions of dollars that Texas and Oregon are offering aren't going to make a difference, right? He's going to make, and I would expect Jordan Seaton to be a top 15 pick next year. If he's a top 15 pick, he's making at least $22 million, right? As Coach Prime always says, you don't come, or even in college football, those aren't the checks that change your life. Like it is life-changing money for a lot of these guys, but Jordan Seaton is a first-round lock. He could do that at Colorado. And so I would say if I'm Colorado, I'm trying to pitch him on nostalgia. I'm like, hey, dude, like you came to play for us, right? We have an exciting quarterback, or we have an exciting offensive system. We have a great young quarterback. We have what probably is the best wide receiver core in the Big 12. We're going to get some good running backs. Like, I think if you're Colorado, you really have to sell Jordan Seaton on this vision of run it back one final time. You're going to be a first-round pick regardless. You're literally viewed as the best left tackle in college football. So why not run it back one more time? And I think a lot of fans of Colorado, I think there's a lot of people who are upset. And I get it. I think I would be I think I'm bothered by how he left the program just because I don't feel like that was, I don't know. I felt like that was a dirty move to sort of use the Colorado creative department to commission a video and then be like, yeah, I'm using it to come back. But I think most sane fans would want Jordan Seaton back simply because of what he brings to the table. And I've talked about this multiple times, and this is the hard part about playing devil's advocate because you kind of get the both sides. Like I said, losing Jordan Seaton sucks because he's so talented, but Brendan Marion's offense was predicated on, it was created when he had an offense line that wasn't very good. So I'm not saying it doesn't work if you have a good offense line. I'm sure it works even better, but Colorado can survive without Jordan Seaton. That being said, why would you want to, right? Why would you want to not have Jordan Seaton? Why would you want to not really, I guess, be able to produce another first round pick, right? That's the sort of thing that's disappointing is, in a way, he's taking away from the legacy of himself at Colorado. Like, he has a chance to be a legend at the program, and he also has a chance to really be the next Colorado first round pick, which is a big deal. And he's going to be a first round pick regardless. And so that part's disappointing because it's like you were so vocal and you were recruiting so many guys about being a Buff and you seem so proud to be a Buff. Like, what happened to that? Like, does money outweigh, I guess, your legacy? Does money outweigh what you were once proud of? I don't know. I haven't been in a position where someone's offering me millions of dollars to do something I'd love to be, but I haven't been, right? So Jordan Seaton, if Colorado can bring him back, I fully recommend that they do. Leader, he could be a leader. He's very good. Obviously, that doesn't hurt. And then I think this year for Colorado could be a very good one. I think they have the potential to contend for a Big 12 title if they continue to make these solid additions. So if I'm Colorado, I'm going full court press. I know a lot of us want to be the salty ex-girlfriend where it's like, you know what? He left us though, so we don't want him anymore. It's like, why? Why would you say that, right? I've seen a lot of negativity towards him, and I think the hard part about Jordan Seaton right now is he's really playing into this transfer portal stuff. He's joking around with Michael Irvin about going to Miami. He's tweeting, oh, Dante Moore's coming back to Oregon. Like, I think he's really milking it. And I think he's really enjoying this process because he's not active on Twitter at all. And so all of a sudden he's very active and he's kind of taunting Colorado and Coach Prime. And I just think if he doesn't want to be villainized, if you will, if he wants to keep intact a legacy at Colorado, I think that's a good opportunity. Now, if Texas and Oregon are offering him $5 million or they're offering him money that is going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in college football history, it's hard to turn that down. And I mean, both those programs are yearly playoff contenders, so I get it. But I think if you're Colorado, you just have to really sell him on the vision one final time, one final run, maybe figure out a way to pay him more. I'm not sure, but it is interesting. I do think it's interesting that Colorado's still in the mix. I think a lot of people want them to be like the salty X and just move on. But if you're Colorado, you want a talent like that. It's just a matter of how much are you willing to pay and how much is he asking for? And like, what is he asking for? So I will keep you guys updated on the Jordan Seaton saga. We're going to take one final quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the latest departure from the running back room and why I'm very concerned about Colorado's running backs. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Let's talk running back rooms. Colorado's just lost another one. They lost Dallin Hayden, who followed Corey Phillips to Memphis, which I think like not every Colorado transfer, but they've sent a few to Memphis. Carday Smith is in Memphis, and it's interesting to see those guys go over there. But Colorado loses a running back, Simeon Price, who he had a really strong first few games. He, especially against Houston, he was 5 for 51 for, 5 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. And then he had a touchdown against Wyoming. I think those were his first 2 touchdowns of his career. 6 foot, 215-pound running back. He's been at Mississippi State, Coastal Carolina, and he was shown the door. I think a lot of people are speculating that he was asked to leave. I've seen some eligibility things where it's like he had to transfer to keep his extra year. Regardless of what caused him to leave Colorado, I am tremendously concerned about this running back room, right? You lost Cam Michael, who I don't even really know what position he played anymore because they never gave us a vision for Cam Michael. It was just like, oh, this dude could play running back. He played receiver. It's like, okay, but what does he play, right? Because he didn't start at anything. And I couldn't really tell like if he had mastered anything. So he's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. And I just think that there was a lot of, I guess, questions there, I guess you could say. So one of those things where it's like, hey, figure it out, please. Like, figure it out. You lose Dallin Hayden, who I considered outside of Tafik Byard. I think Dallin Hayden was probably the biggest loss for Colorado because I would have loved to see him in the go-go offense. He's a hard physical runner. I honestly think whoever's in charge of Colorado's running back rotations last year, and if it was Marshall Faulk, I hope he does better at Southern because, I mean, it was atrocious. Like, whoever was in charge of the running back rotations did an atrocious job. It felt like they would never ride the hot hand to be like, okay, Dallin just busted off 2 runs of 10 yards. Let's bench him till the third quarter. Oh, Micah is kind of struggling. Let's keep feeding them. Those are just examples. So I don't know where Colorado goes at running back here because you lose Simeon Price. Now I'm very high on Christian Clark from Texas. I thought he did really well in that bowl game against Michigan. I think he would thrive in this offense. He's a very physical, big runner. And there's some names in the portal that I like. Mekhi Hughes. I liked Dylan Edwards, but he's going to Kansas. I thought a Dylan Edwards reunion could have been nice, but it's not going to happen. It's not on the cards. He's going to Kansas now. So he went from Colorado to Kansas State to Kansas. Mekhi Hughes is expected to go to Indiana. So, I mean, that's always tough. And so Colorado is really running out of options. And so you look at what they've brought in and what they return, and is it enough? I don't know. I don't even think they have enough bodies at running back right now because, I mean, we all saw how quickly they ran out of running backs, right? It was a very, very shallow position for them. It was the reason that, like, hey, we have 2 running backs at the end of the year. For right now, they have Micah Welch, and that's the only returning running back because you lost Draylon Miller, who don't really know if he was supposed to be a running back. in the portal, right? You're bringing in Darrell Henderson from Sac State and Jaquil Smith from Sac State as well. And so right now you have three running backs, and I think you need like three more. Like that's where I'm at with Colorado. It's like you guys do not have enough. Like you are looking at a situation where one injury would be catastrophic for this room. Like Colorado's running back room is not nearly deep enough. They don't have any of these like versatile guys where it's like, oh, he could play like Isaiah Harge. I liked him at running back, but he's gone, right? You don't have any of these versatile athletes anymore where it's like, okay, this guy could play wide receiver, but could also play running back. Like the running back room for Colorado is shallow. Now, here's some of the guys that I would target if I were Colorado, and I'm going to pull up the transfer portal right now because I think like unless there's like a 2026 recruit out there where it's like, hey, we could still like bring him in, but I don't really know if that's the move. Like what I just need to know, like, what is Colorado's plan at running back? Because I know Brendan Marion is going to run the what out of the ball. He's going to run the piss out of the ball, but you can't run the piss out of the ball if you don't have enough bodies. And right now, Colorado does not have enough bodies. And so the best available is Mekhi Frazier, who I talked about, the Michigan State transfer. He's supposed to visit Indiana, so we'll see how that works out. I would like Colorado to get in the mix there. Christian Clark is another one where I'm like, hey, take a swing on him. You could also go and take a chance on Caleb Jackson, from LSU. I've talked about this before. I don't love sort of this notion of, oh, this guy didn't play that much, or like this guy didn't do all that much at LSU. Like he had 7 carries for 16 yards. So, and over the course of his career, 82 for 331. I mean, you need a body though. That's the hard part. And like, I thought there was a lot of intriguing names in the portal that they could have gone after. Like I liked Cam Cook a lot, but he ended up at West Virginia. Like, I just think that Colorado, unless Brendan Marion has a plan and we're just not seeing the plan, and I feel like that could be it. What are we doing? Javin Gordon from Tulane as a freshman this past year, 128 carries for 516 yards, 5 touchdowns. He'd be an intriguing ad. And you just got to keep digging. You got to keep looking because it's Richard Young from Bama would be an interesting name. The Alabama running backs this year were not that good. So there's that. But I mean, you're at the point where a lot of these guys are committed. So you're going to have to take a flyer on a couple of guys who aren't proven. And that's where Colorado finds himself at right now is like, hey, we don't have any proven running backs. Another one who I'm really high on, and I don't know if he has a production, but Greg Ard from Boise State. I believe he's still in the portal. Like, I think he was sort of expected to be that next Ashton Genty type guy. Didn't record a stat this past season, but I would like to see Colorado build the room up. Get some depth, and we'll just have to wait and see because running back room's looking scarce, and I think Colorado needs to address it immediately. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Do me a favor. Join the Everydayer Club. We're going to start a really fun Discord that you guys won't want to miss out on. I'm Kevin Borba, host of Locked On Buffs, and I will see you guys tomorrow.